What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we are going to be predicting the next title fight in each UFC division, or more so like predicting for the fight for, also I should say for the divisions that do not have a title fight booked. We are going to be predicting what that next title fight is and when it takes place, and then for the fights that are booked we are just going to be predicting those fights straight up. So for instance, Ankalaev versus Pereira, Merab versus Sandhagen, and Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane are the fights that are booked. You know, Islam versus JDM is all but confirmed. But then the other four divisions, I mean, okay, to be fair, like some of them are more confirmed in terms of the fight we know is going to happen, like a Pantoja versus Joshua Van, but we're not entirely sure when, we're not entirely sure on what circumstances. So that's what we're going to be talking about, as well as obviously predicting the next fight. How many of these next champions, or how many of these champions I should say, are going to make it through their next title defense. So yeah, let's get into the video. You can like and subscribe. We've set the over-under line at 21.5. You will already see that line, but how far off was I don't know, but I'm trying to keep this short so I can go to bed. Anyway, let's get started. So, to start off, the UFC 323 co-main in the Flyweight division. Again, we all kind of know Pantoja Van's happening, and I would be stunned if it doesn't get made this year. There's no reason for it not to. Pantoja seems to love defending in December. He seems to be a kind of mid-year, like May, June, July type of guy, and then a December, usually. That's kind of what the schedule that he's been on. Like, it was, let me think, since it was July against Alex Perez, then he waited for his title shot, which he deserved, fought the following, that was also July, so it was a year off, then he fights in December, then he fights in May, then he fights in December, then he fights in June, and now he's probably going to fight in December again. So yeah, Pantoja owns December, is all I'm saying. That's his month. And as much as I love Joshua Van, I just think this is a bit too much too soon for him. I don't think Pantoja is over the hill in any aspect. I don't think we've seen anything from him to make us think he's washed. And not that Joshua Van would only be able to beat a washed Pantoja, but like, I think one, Van needs, not me saying he should have to fight again, obviously he deserves the title shot, but like, in terms of his benefit and his chances in this fight, I think he is better served fighting a top level grappler before he gets that Pantoja fight. Like, again, none of these fights would make sense right now, but like, just on the, I know he fought Ray Saruya and I know he fought like Cody Durden, but like, for his benefit, I actually would have preferred him to have fought a Tatsuro Taira, or even an Amir Albazi, or even like a Asuel Mabayev at some point along the line. Again, that fight, none of those fights would make sense now. He deserves the title shot, but just for his development, and I know his takedown defense is pretty good, and I know he is not a guy who gets held on bottom for a lot of time, but you ain't fought anyone close to Pantoja, like not even Cody Durden and Ray Saruya, and not even in, you can't even say low budget Pantoja. Like that's like not even free version of Pantoja. Like that's them paying you money for the product, for you to get the product. That's how just little value that those two individuals have if you're comparing them to Pantoja. So I'm not sure how that, and I think we've seen this story written before, again, not comparing the fighters themselves, but we've seen these younger, not inexperienced, but less experienced guys with a heavy striking style, nasty boxing, or just great striking, fight this dominant grappler wrestler, and a lot of the time it doesn't go well for them. Like, yes, alright, like JDM beat Bilal. I don't think that is in any way comparable to this fight. Like, the boxing side of the challenger is similar, but I just think Pantoja is so far superior to Bilal in almost all aspects of the game. And especially in terms of the grappling and how much of a problem that's going to pose. He's going to have a size advantage, Pantoja. He's going to be more physical. And I just don't think that Van, who kind of like is decent at getting up to his feet, like he has been taken down. Let's just not forget. Let's not act like he's got some just impenetrable brick wall takedown defense. And again, I will glaze Joshua Van as much as the next person or more. But in terms of this prediction, I'm not going to be biased. Again, it's not really biased for either. I love both of these two. These two are like two of my top 5. The UFC has managed to matchmake within this year. We are going to see Volkanovski versus Lopez, which is like two of my top like 6 favorite fighters. And then we're going to see Pantoja versus Joshua Van, which is two of my top like 4 favorite fighters. Like, I'd say Pantoja, Volk, Van, Oliveira. Like, literally two of my top Prates. Sorry, I forgot Prates. Put Prates 3. Pantoja, Volk, Prates, Van, Oliveira. That's my top 5. And then Lopez is like number 6. I'd say. Joel Alva is probably like number 7. So, like, the UFC, I'm probably forgetting a few guys, so forgive me, but the UFC is managing to just book these fights where I'm extremely conflicted on the winner, and I don't want either guy to lose, because I will be devastated for Pantoja if he loses this belt, but I will also be very happy for Van, and I will be very sad to see our boy Joshua Van lose in a way that I think he will. Like, if he loses, maybe, like, in a way where it just doesn't hurt him at all, it's like some scrap back and forth decision where Pantoja gets the best of it, but if he goes out there and just gets ran over. Like, I don't think this will happen. I don't think it's just going to be a round 1 sub. But, like, if it's just not overly competitive and he just can't stuff takedowns and get up and he just gets smoked. Like, I don't think his stock will decrease that much, but it'll just be like, damn, bro. I think, because there are a lot of people thinking Joshua Van's the guy to beat him. And he is. I think if you're looking at a guy with the best chance, it's either Van or Tyra for very different ends of the spectrum. But give me Pantoja to win this fight. I just think he's too good right now. It's going to take me to see Pantoja rapidly declining, whereas I think he's still improving. Like, watch the Urseg fight, and then watch the Kai Kara France fight, and tell me he's not improving. Like, I know Asakura, the win is aged not well, and I hate the narrative of being like, Pantoja's resume being fraud checked. It's like, why? Because he dominated the guy who also just lost. Like, alright, cool. Like, are you telling me that Pantoja doesn't beat the version of Tim Elliott that fought DJ? Like, that's a fucking retarded take from MMA Guru and a few others that have said that as well. Anyway, this is one I wanted to spend a bit longer on, but let's move on. Merab versus Sandhagen. Obviously, we don't really need to talk about the matchmaking side of it. It's already booked. It's signed, sealed, and delivered, taking place October 4th in Las Vegas at UFC 320. But I'm picking Merab. I've done multiple videos where I've talked about this fight, so this is just going to be brief. I think it's just difficult for me to pick against Merab right now, similarly to Pantoja, until I see him decline and see weaknesses open up in his game. We're like, yeah, okay, you can say, and every fight against a striker, people can say, oh, but he might get KO'd. It's like, well, yeah, but he hasn't, so I'm just not going to fucking pick it to happen, am I? Like, am I going to pick Sandhagen, whose, like, most recent KO wins? Like, I'm not counting the Song Yadong, it was a doctor stoppage. But, like, most recent actual KO wins were Frankie Edgar, who's old, and Marlon Chinny Man Moraes. Like, we're not doing that. So, I just can't see Sandhagen landing a fucking flying knee. If he does, cool. If he doesn't, he's just going to lose. So, yeah, anyway, let's move on. Next up, 323 main event. I think this is going to be Volkanovski versus Lerone Murphy, bruv. Look, again, not booked, not done. And very reliant on, like, this is not me doing a video of, like, predicting how any possible championship match would go. Like, I'm literally predicting the next fight in each division. So I'm not going to just say, I'm not going to do a breakdown for Volk versus Evlov and Volk versus Silva, because I think right now, if I had to put odds on it, like, person to fight Volkanovski next, I'm putting Lerone Murphy at, like, $1.30. I'm putting Gene Silva at, like, $2.90. Or I should do it in, like, American fucking freedom units. I'm thinking, like, minus 300 for Murphy to get the next title shot. Like, plus 200-ish for Gene Silva. And, like, plus 500 for Movzar. I think he's got fuck all chance. It should be higher, honestly. I think Yair actually is more likely to get a fucking title shot than Movzar at this point. The UFC just ain't giving it to him. But I think Lerone Murphy will lose to Volkanovski. Look, cool, you KO'd Pico. It's not like he put on a domination and just pillar to post shut down Pico. He caught him with a nasty spinning elbow. Volkanovski doesn't charge in like a retard and leave himself open to getting spinning elbowed. And Lerone Murphy is not a power puncher. Like, okay, cool, you landed a flush spinning elbow. It doesn't mean you have knockout power. His 2 UFC knockouts have come from a flying knee or a knee and then a spinning elbow. He hasn't knocked someone out with his fist. Has he dropped someone? I don't even know. With his punches. Someone will have to let me know. But I think Volk, even though I do think he's a little bit past it, he's not washed. If he was washed, he would have got KO'd by Diego Lopez. That is good enough for me. Like, yes, Lopez was landing on him. I think Lopez lands on him via being wild. And I know people will be like, oh, Murphy's a more technical striker than Lopez. Yes, I think that means that's better for Volk. That's like Volk goes into that being like, I'm in a pure striking fight. I'm a better technical striker than this guy. Murphy's not going to go out there and just out-decision and out-point me. Like, that's not happening. Volk's a higher output striker. He'll be on the front foot, but not aggressively, like, running in like a spastic waiting to get shinned. He'll be pressuring with the jab. He can mix up the grappling very effectively. We've seen Volk. We saw him do it against Yair. Obviously, we saw him have immense grappling success in the first fight against Islam. And Murphy's a guy who does get taken down. Pico took him down a few times in that fight. Emmett took him down. Ige got him down. Fucking everyone, Gabriel Santos got him down. Like, everyone gets this guy down. Like, yes, he does a good job of not getting back up, but I think Volk's a different fucking grappler to these guys. Like, you're going to look at me with a straight face and tell me that anyone Murphy's been taken down by is a better top position grappler than Volk. I'm going to say no. I'm just going to say Volk, if he gets him down, will hold him there, will beat him up with ground and pound. And on the feet, close-ish. If it's pure striking the whole way, I think Volk takes it like 49, 46, 48, 47. Prime Volk fucking 50, 44 is Lerone Murphy, but like, or finishes him. But if we're talking right now, Volk, I'm going to assume his reaction time's not quite as good. He's probably still going to be getting tagged up by a bit. And aside from a fluke KO, again, like head kick, fucking Lerone Murphy, Leon Edwards bruv moments, I'm just not picking him to win. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, we got Ilia Aptorio. I think his next fight is going to be Paddy Pimblett. It's a three-man race here. Again, if we're making odds for this, it's a lot closer than Featherweight, in my opinion, because none of them are booked. That's the difference, is none of them are booked and none of them are injured, from what I know. Because, like, with his Featherweight, it's like Movzar's injured, Gene's booked, Lerone Murphy just won by first round KO. He's obviously more likely to get it. Whereas, at lightweight, it's like Armin and Justin are both kind of saying, I don't want to fight, I deserve a title shot. Paddy's saying, one of you fucking fight me. Dan Hooker's calling out Armin, I guess. I don't know what he's doing. And there's a few other fights. But, like, if we're making odds for this, I think just via star potential, star power, and just via it's the biggest fight company marketing-wise they can make, I think Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria, I would put it like minus 200 to make, like minus 170, minus 180. I'd probably put Justin at like plus 130, plus 140, and then I'd put Armin at like plus 250, I'd say. I don't think Armin's getting it. Gaethje has the Ali Abdelaziz backing, Abdelaziz, which we know he has a good relationship with the UFC. So if that gets made, it's purely through politics and that, and just Ali pulling some strings behind the scenes and saying, hey, if you don't give Gaethje a shot, I'm going to do this or whatever. And the UFC will just bend to that. But or they just won't be fucked to say no. But if they do what I think they should, in terms of not necessarily deserve, but it's like, alright, Gaethje clearly doesn't deserve it. Armin was if we're looking at resume, Armin deserves it more than Paddy. But like, this man has not fought since April 2024, and also he was explicitly told after missing weight and screwing up an entire event, you need to fight one more, and then proceeded to turn down like the options that they gave him. So yeah, fuck Armin. I think Paddy's gonna get it, and I think that Ilia Topuria absolutely fucking sparks Paddy Pimblett out cold in the first round. Anyway, let's move on. I also think he would beat Armin by like second or third rounds TKO KO, and I think he would fucking kill Gaethje as well. I think Paddy lasts more than Gaethje if he grapples. Anyway, let's move on. Welterweight. This is all but confirmed. Like, I'm putting the odds on this fight at MSG at like minus 1,000. Like, I would lay chalk on this fight. If they gave me an option of like, which card is this happening on? It's like, this is minus 1,000. Any other fucking option is like plus 10 million. Like, I don't know. That's not how odds work. But yeah, this fight's going to happen at MSG, Madison Square Garden, UFC 322 in November. For the prediction, I'm fence-sitting this shit still. I know I said I'm going to give predictions for the next title fights in each division. Nah, I'm not giving my prediction. I don't fucking know, bro. I don't know. Because it's like, as much as JDM looked good against Bilal, he's still getting tagged up by Bilal, and I don't think Bilal is a good striker. I don't. And I'm not saying Islam is some generational striker, but like, he did outstrike Volk in the first fight. Like, he won that fight. Obviously, grappling helped, but he won it through striking success. Like, he won the first round via hurting Volk on the feet. He won rounds 2 and or 3 via slightly better shots. He didn't really have a lot of grappling success in 2 and 3. He held Volk down for the whole of round 4, did no damage, and then lost round 5. But he still was looking alright in the early stages of round 5 before he got dropped. So my point being, Islam striking, I know it's like, okay, yeah, but he was getting tagged up by, like, Poirier. Sure. But, like, are you going to tell me that, like, Poirier isn't tagging up Jack? It's like, there's a difference between tagging up and, like, him, and same thing, like, Bilal was tagging up JDM. Like, I would say, tell me if this is a crazy take. I would say that Bilal, I know Poirier had his moments. I would say and argue that Bilal was landing on JDM more than Poirier was landing on Islam. Poirier's just looked more impactful because he hits harder because Bilal has pillow hands. So maybe that's JDM being like, I don't care about getting hit by this dude. I'm just going to get hit to hit him back harder. So in which case, cool. Like, clearly JDM's a better striker than Bilal. And I think pure boxing, JDM's obviously better than Islam. But are we backing a pure boxer to get it done? Like, takedown defense is good. Scrambles are good. Jiu-jitsu is good. I just think Islam's better than Bilal in all areas. And if he's improved upper weight class, if that weight cut was affecting him, which I'm not saying it definitely was, but there's definitely an element of, like, sometimes he's not showing up at his best. But, like, we can, and I'm not the guy to say, like, excuse every fucking performance being mid if they keep using the injury or the sickness excuse. Like, Pereira used the sickness excuse. Like, he had a virus for, like, the Roundtree fight when he won, and we're like, okay, cool. And then he also used it for the Ankalaev fight. It's like, okay, yeah, maybe, sure, but also, like, I don't care, you lost. Same thing with Islam, like, first Volk fight, my IV, I didn't get to rehydrate properly, the window was short, it was too short. Like, if you are struggling to rehydrate because the window is too short in a different part of the world, I'm going to assume that just in general that weight cut's affecting you. Like, against Poirier, he did look pretty solid. Like, he did outland Poirier to my numbers. Like, he had great moments and literally was tagging up Dustin Poirier, who is a very good boxer. And I think was the worst he's ever looked against Max. Well, not worst he's ever looked, but did not look very good against Max. Obviously, the Poirier that fought Islam was not a prime Poirier. But, again, this is me making the case for... I'll make the case for both. This is me making the case for Islam right now. He mixes it up with kicks. He mixes it up with grappling, clearly. I think his submissions are way better than Bilal's, so I don't think JDM's just... Like, I'm not saying that he has some, like, non-technical stand-ups, but, like, if he does try and rush up to the feet, I think Islam does better at capitalizing on that than Bilal, who will just chain wrestle and hold your legs, but he's not taking your back. He's not threatening a rear naked choke. Like, Leon, this man was on Leon's back for, like, half of that fight and did not fucking go near a rear naked once. Like, I don't remember, maybe I'm bugging, I do not remember Leon fighting off a rear. People be like, yeah, bro, Leon got dog-walked by Bilal, he got dog-walked by Brady. Like, alright, just chill. Yes, he got dog-walked by Brady. But that Bilal fight was not the same. Bilal versus Leon and Brady versus Leon are two different things. If you show those to people and say, hey, which fight would you rather be Leon in? 100 out of 100 people say they would rather be the Leon that fought Bilal and smash his face in with elbows at the end of the fight, rather than get actually dominated and subbed in the fourth with no success. So, yeah, I don't even know what I'm saying right now, but I just think, again, Islam's a better grappler. I just don't know, like, size-wise. Like, I might low-key just fence-sit this until after weigh-ins. And if JDM's, like, just considerably bigger, I might just pick him. Because his boxing is nasty. I'm going to have to rewatch the Bilal fight and see how much I rate his striking. Another retarded take I saw, like, I know I've been, like, a, not hater, but JDM, like, kind of doubter or discreditor in terms of, like, I overlooked into the Burns fight as, like, oh, he's mid in the grappling. When, yes, he did have a broken arm and clearly he can improve, and that's what he's done. How much will he improve from the Bilal fight to the Islam fight? I think it's going to have to be quite a lot, because I think that, like, this shouldn't be controversial. The JDM that fought Bilal loses to the best version that we've seen of Islam Makhachev, in my opinion. And we still can't forget he did just drop and finish Charles. We can't forget that, like, when he's on, he is on. So right now, I guess I lean Islam with fucking little confidence, like 49, 51% in terms of confidence. Like, again, I've been talking pretty much the whole time about why Islam might win. The why JDM will win is just like, he stuffs the takedowns and whoops his ass on the feet. And it's like, Islam is pretty defensively responsible in my books, and yeah, the Moicano win, whatever. But yeah, he subbed. I'm sick of guys using as like a, oh yeah, he subbed him in a round, but then this guy went on to lose, so the win's mid. It's like, well, hang on. if he dominated the guy, you can't really blame... you can't really act like he went life and death with fucking Moicano. If Moicano, like, actually was, like, piecing him up and, like, had him in trouble, I'd be like, alright, bro, what are you doing? But I think upper 170 is going to look fresh, and I just think we've got this wave of, yeah, Ilya's just moved up and done it. I don't know, I feel like Islam does the same. Maybe not. But as well, like, JDM just feels like the style of guy who isn't going to be a long-reigning champion. Like, fun as hell, very talented. But am I wrong for saying we don't get these just really, really fun dudes who just scrap as champ for that long? Like, we got Lawler for a couple defenses. But apart from that, and there's obviously been a few, but for the most part, it's not like boring fighters as champ. Like, we got Ilya now. But I don't know, welterweight is not a division of boxers as champions. That's never been what it is. It's been GSP, it's been Usman, it's been Bilal, apart from Leon, who's a like range kickboxer. It's always just been these fundamentally sound, kind of not mid, but like just mid to watch, not that fun. Like GSP, goat of the division, goat of the sport in my books, had a lot of sub-fun title defenses. Anyway, this is probably the most interesting fight right now, post Hamzat Drikas, which obviously turned out to be mid, but going into it even, I'd say this is the second most anticipated fight of the year. Anyway, let's move on. Hamzat Chimaev, who the fuck does he fight? This is the closest one in terms of lines, where like they're all plus something. Like I'm lining. If we're being broad, like if we're having to line the individual fighters, I'd say Amavov. The Amavov Baralio is just like, alright, well, it's the line of whoever wins there, so Amavov would be slightly favoured. And then I'd say like RDR is like a bit, and then I'd say Fluffy's probably fourth on that list, or third if you're saying just the winner of, with the caveat of just the winner of Amavov Baralio. I'd say that's the number one option. I would then say RDR is number two, if the UFC is wanting to do a quick turnaround. Like, if they're booking Hamzat's next fight in, like, February next year or some shit, like, before Ramadan, I'd imagine that's when that is. I think this is what we're going to get. We're going to get some sort of fucking Saudi... Saudis are going to pay for a pay-per-view. They're going to be like, no, we're not doing these fight nights. Hey, you got Hamzat as champ now. You got Ankalaev, like, you got these guys. We want one of these guys in Abu Dhabi, and we want one of them in Saudi, and we probably want the bigger one in Saudi. They're going to pay a fuck ton of money, and they're just going to buy out the rights to just have Hamzat fight there. Like, I know he can fight in the US. This is not me being like, oh, visa issues, whatever. No, they're just going to fucking... The UAE and Saudis and oil money just pays for big fights, and they get them. They just get them. Like, they're probably going to get fucking an Ilya fight at some point. Like, Ilya is nowhere near that region, but it's like, alright, just cool. Big fight, I guess, so they just get it, you know. Yeah, you know, Canada, yeah, best we can do is Bilal. But yeah, these guys just, yeah, fight night, yeah, you can get Adesanya versus Amavov, Hamzat versus Whitaker. But he pulled out, so you can get fucking Ikram. That's the best we can do. But, I think Hamzat's going to beat Amavov. I think Amavov can do, like, decent, and I think he would obviously beat Hamzat on the feet, but Amavov got fucking taken down and ragdolled by Brendan Allen for a round. I just can't trust him. Like, he's weirdly good, and I could see him making it closer than... I think it'll look less dominant than the Drikas fight, is what I'll say. But he also might get subbed, so I don't fucking know. But, like, obviously I'm picking Hamzat. You just have to pick him until he loses, I guess. But I'm thinking, yeah, we're getting... I know some people, like, I saw Bedtime's next fights to make video, and for whatever reason, he said do Lerone Murphy versus Movs Zarevlov. First of all, brother, your speaking license has been revoked for a day. Like, you've got a temporary restraining order on being able to speak, for whatever the fuck that take was. Like, what is that? Yeah, make that in December and then do the winner versus Volk early next year. What do you mean early next year? Like February? Like 2 months later? Like, no, Volk's trying to fight. We're not trying to see Volk fight once a year. He's almost fully washed. We need to get Volk another title defense now. Like, Volk's like, yep, I want Lerone Murphy in December. Bedtime's like, nah, bro. Best we can do is a number one contender fight and you can sit out till April. What the fuck? But he also said Hamzat versus RDR, as in, I imagine, a quick turnaround to put it on the Abu Dhabi card. I can tell you with 97.5% confidence they're not going to fucking do Hamzat as a co-main event of a pay-per-view. And it would feel weird for them to, like, downgrade Aspinall to a co-main just to put Hamzat on there. Like, I know Dana was like, yeah, if the kid wants to... Listen, you guys know how I feel about guys making short notice. I love that shit. So if he wants to do that, go for it. But they're not going to. Like, they're going to go back. They're going to kind of figure out what do we want to do with Khamzat, who's next. They're going to wait. Like, this is my point. Khamzat is not getting... the October Abu Dhabi card is 2 months away, right? They're not booking that now. Like, Khamzat did not take a lot of damage, but, like, they are not going to... We're not getting a fucking announcement for Khamzat's next fight within 2 weeks for a 6-week camp for RDR. Like, that's not fucking happening. So I don't know what that take was from Bedtime and a few others that indicated, oh, Khamzat on the Abu Dhabi card. I'm like, it's not going to happen. If it does, I'll be shocked and I'll eat my words. But they're going to wait. They're going to get Khamzat on the next TV deal. They're not going to stack the last couple cards of the... Like, they are stacked, like, a bit, but they're not going to, like, just dump every single fucking title fight that they have. Like, we're not getting triple header title fight championship, like, bouts on these last pay-per-views. They're gonna stack the deck for like the first 3 months or 4 months of the year next year. Like, we're gonna get an Ilya Topuria fight as like the first card of the year. We're gonna get a Khamzat fight. We're gonna get probably like an Ankalaev versus the winner of Yuri Khalil at some point early-ish. We're gonna get, you know, another Merab fight. We're going to get a few other, like another Aspinall fight early-ish. Like, we're going to get these. They're not going to just, we're going to get, I know people are going to laugh at me, but like Kayla Amanda, as far as women's fights, is up there in terms of popularity. We're not just going to do this bullshit where we just, like, I'd love it. I'd love stacked pay-per-views, but guess what? If they fucking if we get Khamzat versus RDR in October. Like, yes, Khamzat can make a turnaround, but I don't think this is just a crazy take, maybe. History indicates the last, like, 3-4 years, we're not going to get Khamzat Chimaev fighting every 3-4 months. That's not fucking happening, dude. He's going to fight twice a year, and both of them are probably going to be in the Middle East, or at least one of them. So, yeah, anyway, let's move on. Next up, 320 main event. I've talked about it already. I'm picking Ankalaev. I just can't. Like, I'd love to just cope pick Pereira and hope he wins. But, like, the thing is, if I cope pick Pereira, I'll just be pissed off when he loses. Well, if I pick Ankalaev, I'll be ecstatic if Ankalaev loses because I won't give a fuck about my pick and everyone else can agree. Most people picking Ankalaev don't want him to win. Unless you're fucking Kenny Okoye or MMA Joey, MMA Fatty, or fucking Kopi Okoye. Casual Okoye, you know, these bums that for some reason just try and be different and be like, yeah, I like Ankalaev, bro, he's like super entertaining. Like, shut up. I like Bilal, bro. Bilal beat JDM. Kill yourself. Like, I'm sorry, but these fuckers. But regardless, I'm just gonna pick Ankalaev. Pereira has not looked the best in his last few fights, and he's only getting older. He's focusing on other shit. He's coming in real heavy. I don't know if that'll be an advantage or not. Who the fuck knows what's going on with Pereira, but like, as far as I'm concerned, Ankalaev wants to be a defending champion. Pereira just wants to make some money and fucking retire and go be a star and shit. Anyway, let's move on. And also the other one that I've already predicted. First of all, let's just, in terms of if you want to hear what's next after the fights that are booked. So what's already booked? 321 or Merab versus Sandhagen. I think Merab will probably end up fighting PDR after the Corey Sandhagen fight. I don't know what circumstances that will fall in, but I believe that will be Merab's next fight. If we're looking at welterweight, again, it's not booked, but if I had to guess who would get the next shot after that, it really kind of just depends, because there's almost 2 number 1 contender fights you can make at welterweight right now. Like, if Usman gets another win, he's probably going to get a title shot against Islam, or maybe even JDM. Sean Brady's there, Shavkat's there, Gary's there, so welterweight, I'm not even going to guess, because that's just retarded. If I'll chuck out a flyer, the next title shot after that will be an undeserved Kamaru Usman beats Bilal Muhammad in October at Abu Dhabi, a month prior to this fight, or like 2 weeks prior to this fight taking place, and then Usman calls for the title shot, and UFC bias and privilege gets in the way, and Usman will get the next title shot, I believe, after JDM Islam. And then light heavyweight, it's pretty clear. It's just Yuri. It's the winner of Yuri Khalil, which I do think will be Yuri. And then for heavyweight, I think the winner of Almeida Volkov will get the shot, because Dana does not seem to care about John Jones in the slightest, which we support. But I don't even talk about this fight. I'm picking Aspinall to smoke him inside 2 rounds, or inside a round or 2 rounds. Anyway, that's the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments who you think will be next for each champion, when the title fights will be booked, all that shit. And yeah, see you later.